The Whispering Teacup. In Grandma Lila's kitchen, there was an old cupboard that creaked only when the moon was full. It stood between jars of cinnamon sticks and shelves stacked with quiet plates. Inside it sat a porcelain teacup, delicate, hand-painted with tiny roses, and always a little warm to the touch. Everyone thought it was just part of Grandma's pretty collection. But Ellie knew better. Because every night, when the house grew still, the stars peeked through the windows, and the clock in the hallway ticked like a whisper. The teacup spoke. "Psst, Ellie," it would murmur. "There's a kingdom inside me." At first, Ellie thought she was imagining things. But the whispers came again. And again. So one night, while Grandma slept and the moon was high, Ellie tiptoed into the kitchen. The cupboard creaked softly, as if it had been expecting her. She opened the door, reached in, and placed her ear to the rim of the teacup. "Can I see it?" she whispered. The roses painted along the teacup began to twirl. A swirl of cinnamon steam curled from its center. Then came a flash of light, not bright, but warm and golden, and Ellie shrunk. "Whoa!" Ellie gasped, blinking fast. Shrunk to the size of a sugar cube. She floated down gently and landed on a spongecake path. Oh my goodness! Around her was a miniature world no bigger than a dinner plate. There were tea cake hills dusted with sugar snow, biscuit bridges arching over drops of tea, and cozy cottages made of thimbles and spoon handles. Even the trees were made of twisted candy canes and mint leaves. "This is amazing," Ellie breathed. Tiny people bustled through the village, no taller than your thumb, wearing sugar crystal hats and riding tea bags like little carts. One bowed and said cheerfully, "Welcome, guardian. The Whispering Teacup chose you." Ellie blinked. "Me? Why?" she asked, still wide-eyed. "Wow." Before she could ask more, the ground shook. A hush fell over the kingdom. From behind a wall of sugar cubes, a sneaky, sticky creature oozed forward, made of breadcrumbs, jelly stains, and old bits of cookie. Its eyes glowed like raisins. "Oh no," someone cried. "The Crumb Goblin. He's come to munch the sugar fields again." Ellie didn't hesitate. "Let's go," she shouted, snatching up a nearby cinnamon stick and hopping on a peppermint sled. The goblin growled and lunged, crumbling everything in its way. But Ellie was quick, and clever. She led him on a wild chase past the jelly gardens and honey wells. "Catch me if you can," she giggled. Right into a sticky trap set by the teaspoon troops. With one final splat, the goblin fell headfirst into a jar of golden honey and got stuck. "Yes," Ellie cheered. "We did it." The kingdom cheered with her. Party popper. Tiny fireworks of powdered sugar sparkled in the air. That afternoon, or was it still night? Time worked strangely inside a teacup. Ellie was invited to the Sugar Crystal Palace, where the Queen of Spoons herself honored her with a badge made from a polished button. "Thanks to you," the Queen said kindly, "our kingdom is safe, and the stories inside the teacup can live on." Ellie curtsied. "Oh wow, thank you, Your Majesty." She didn't know how long she'd been there, but the edges of the cup were beginning to shimmer again, like morning light. It was time to go. With a swirl of cinnamon and warmth, Ellie grew back to her normal size. She found herself sitting in the quiet kitchen, the teacup still in her hands. It wasn't glowing anymore, but it felt alive. Like it had something more to say. Ellie placed it carefully back in the cupboard. Then, as she slipped into bed and pulled the covers to her chin, she whispered, "I'll listen tomorrow." And in the distance, in the space between dreams and sugar, the teacup whispered back, "Until next time, guardian."